Hey sweeties, I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for your support on Cimnanya. You all have no idea how I feel. I am super grateful. Let's get that account to 500 subscribers. I appreciate you all. And if you have not subscribed, the link to my backup channel is in the description. Not in the description, in the comment section pinned. Kindly click on it. It's gonna take you to my backup channel. Thank you all so much. Welcome to Naya Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all, and I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for always coming back to support your girl. You all are super amazing. So today I am gonna leave what started this thing here so you all can see. And it's actually a white man saying that liberals hate the US but refuse to leave. All right, this is what started the problem. And guess what? A black man actually made a video for him and was saying that you people cannot stand black people. You cannot stand Hispanic. They cannot stand anybody, right? And they got the nerves to come and leave this comment. Oh, you saw that already, right? And they can't stand freedom unless it is the way they view it. But things don't work that way. Stay glued to the screen. Let me roll the clip. We'll come back to talk about it. And let me know what you all think in the comment section. Let's get into this. Let me roll there.
This shit right here is fucking rich. How conservatives always say stuff like liberals hate the United States but refuse to leave it. It's funny because you fucking people hate the United States the most. Let's start off with the population. You can't stand people that are brown. You can't stand people that are black. You can't stand people that are from another country. You can't stand people that were from this country before you white folks got here. You basically can't stand Asians. You can't stand Latino people. You can't stand anyone that isn't Christian. You can't stand anyone that's Buddhist. You can't stand anyone that's Hindu. You can't stand anyone that's Satanist. You can't stand anyone that's Muslim. You can't stand anyone talking about their God in school unless it's your God. You can't stand people talking about simply being able to go to the goddamn bathroom without you being terrified that they're going to touch children, which it happens to be that most of your Christian conservative priests are the ones that's doing all the touching of children. Keep that in mind. You claim to stand up for life, but life only matters to you before it's born, because once the person is born, fuck them if they're not rich. Another thing, you can't stand people that aren't rich, and most of you are fucking poor thinking you're going to be rich, so you're backing these rich people thinking that someday it's going to be you. Fucking conservatives can't stand people that aren't heterosexual, cis norm. You can't stand gay people. You can't stand trans people. You can't stand non-binary people. You can't stand people not speaking English. You can't stand people that do speak English that don't look like you. You can't stand people speaking English with an accent because it's not your hillbilly hee-haw accent. You can't stand learning about the past because it hurts your little feelers, but then again, you want to live in the past because, oh God, Civil War, yay, Confederates were good people. Stupid, even though they were like literally traitors to the Union. You can't stand people that actually want to vote and try to make the world better because you're constantly trying to stop them from voting. I mean, hell, even half your population is women, and you clearly can't stand women. You guys are ridiculous. You're always talking this shit like you refuse to leave. See, look, let me learn you something. Let me learn you something, Billy Bob. A patriot, a real patriot, true patriot, doesn't leave a country when they think it needs to be changed for the better. They stay and try to fix it. Most liberals are actually people that believe this country can be better, and it could be what it claims to be if people like you, buddy, people like you decided to actually change and start liking the people you claim to like. You know, the citizens of this great nation.
Oh my gosh. A lot was said in how many minutes? A whole lot. The message, he has passed the message across, and it is left for them to absorb it. And that was actually, he made so many great points. And then a lot of people were stitching to it, not just only black people, white people also stitched to this video. And you know what? Do not go away. Let's roll straight away to the stitches. So here we go.
How conservatives always say stuff like liberals hate the United States but refuse to leave it.
And you know, it's funny that this guy says that because he is absolutely right. And what's funny about it is these same people they have a habit of running away from their own problems. Like, I remember I was in a bookstore one time. I overheard this family talking about how they lived in Atlanta, and there was a crime that happened next door to them. So they ended up moving out here to Gwinnett, which is a suburb county outside of Atlanta. And then I started hearing him saying that they're starting to get crime out here now, so now they're getting ready to move. So these same type of people telling us, if you have a problem in America, why don't you leave? They pretty much spend their whole lives running. As soon as one little crime happens, they don't know how to deal with it. They move to another area, seemingly forgetting that crime can happen anywhere. It doesn't matter how many times you move, you're going to find some type of problem. And the thing is, historically, it's considered very American to stand your ground and fight for your problems. It's not an American trait to run whenever you find some kind of issue going on. And I'll give you some context. Because when I was in college, there's this guy I knew. He was there on a sports scholarship. He was British. He was there on a soccer scholarship. And he really bought into the whole American dream. And I remember him mentioning some story about how he grew up watching Titanic, watching Jack and Rose on the ship, and how it made him excited because he one day wanted to move to America. And I was like, do you not realize the irony in that? Because when you watch the movie, Jack is dirt poor. He clearly did not benefit from the American dream. And then I started explaining like the issues we have in America. And so then this British guy had the dash to tell me, well, if you hate America so much, why don't you leave? And the fact that he of all people was telling me I was so ironic, it was not even because he wasn't American. It's because he was British. And this is when it goes back to what I'm saying, how it's very historically American to stand your ground and fight for injustice instead of trying to run away when you have problems. Because first they were the Native Americans, right? They were here first. So then Europeans came over and started colonizing it. They started taking over the land. They started forcing the Native Americans off their land. But what did the Native Americans do? They didn't run away because it became difficult to live. They stood their ground. Now, granted, they were defeated. They were overrun. But many Native Americans are still here today. They still didn't run away. And then when the Europeans came over and settled, and the British started to become more authoritarian and making life difficult for the colonists, what did the colonists do? They didn't run away because things became difficult. They stood their ground, and then we had what we call the American Revolution, and they drove the British off. And that's the irony I'm talking about, because the British guys shouldn't tell me why don't I run away. But these Americans didn't run away. They drove the British off. They made the land their own. And then in the 1800s, 1600s, 1700s, we have slavery. And there are plenty of free blacks, either because they ran away or they bought their freedom. And what did they do? Many of them didn't run away. They stayed and they tried to make it better for those who were still enslaved, better for people who were still suffering. So then we have the American Civil War, and then slavery is ended. People are freed. But then a lot of black people still had to deal with the racism and discrimination of the country. And what did they do? None of them ran away. They had a problem with the way the country was treating them and people liked them. So what they did, they stayed, they fought. So we had the Civil Rights Movement. We made things better for more people. And America still has problems today. It's a lot better than it was centuries ago, but it still has problems today. And a lot of people, many of us, we're not running away. We're not running away from our problems like these people tend to do. As soon as something becomes inconvenient, we stand our ground and we fight to make it better. And I think that really defines what it means to be an American. Because as I mentioned, being an American is nothing to do with running away when things become hard. We were known for standing our ground and fighting for things to become better for everybody. Being patriotic has nothing to do with pretending like everything in your country is fine because it's not personally affecting you and loving your country. Because I really believe, as much as a lot of minority groups and people, liberals, all of us tend to complain about America and have issues with it, we all to some level love America. We're all on some level patriotic because we're willing to stay and put in the effort to make this country better for not just ourselves, but for other people who are persecuted and ostracized. And nothing be more patriotic, more American than that. You're not more American than anybody else just because you love the country and you think there's nothing wrong with it. You're American because you're willing to stay and continue work to improve the country and make it better for everyone.
This shit right here is fucking rich. How conservatives always say stuff like liberals hate the United States.
I agree with you. Conservatives are not perfect by any means, by any stretch. But I don't recall one conservative in the last couple of years that was involved in any kind of bioweapon research to eliminate millions of people in the world. I don't recall any conservatives involved in child trafficking and pedophile rings. No, I can't think of one. Now I know liberals will come out and say, oh, but what about this person and what about that person? No, I think we all know the real truth about you liberals and what you really are. And you could sit there and say, oh, well, that's not me. I don't do that kind of stuff. But you support the kind of people that do. That makes you with just as much blood on your hands as them. Instead of worrying about what's rich, try worrying about what the real truth is.
I mean, y'all are the ones that are talking about a national divorce, not us. Y'all want to like burn down our system of government just because you can't win elections. Y'all hate this country so much you'll take sides with Russia over your own government. Republicans have absolutely no love for this country. Republicans love the flag. They love the national anthem. You know, they love the fucking military imagery, but they don't actually love this fucking country. You can't love a country if you hate its people. And this was on a video where I talked about how the younger generations aren't proud to live in the United States, aren't proud to be American. It takes a really, really soft mind to think that not being proud of something is the same thing as hating that thing. Like, only morons think that the United States is perfect, and anyone who has anything bad to say about the United States must hate America, must hate the United States. It's almost like ignoring problems doesn't make them go away. So no, we aren't leaving. We're just going to keep winning elections till things change.
All right, this is all we have for the stitches, and this is where I'm gonna draw the curtain. Let me all know what you all think in the comment section, and thank you all for your support. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.